own blood, Rafael was bolted to the ground. He could not do anything. His child brain understood that this is more than a game, that this is different. This is not the same anymore. There's blood. There was never blood when he was playing with Consuela. There was never anything that like. People never screamed. People never wept. There was not disarray in his world when he played. No, there was only eternal sunshine. And then he heard his father, calm like ever. He was not afraid, and this gave him confidence. His father, always the boss, always in the center. But his father, he could not do anything against it. He could not save his life. They talked about businesses. You deserve this, Fulgencio, said one voice. A voice Rafael did not recognize. You have killed a lot of people. You have buried them, probably in your own garden. You are evil, my son. You are evil, said the voice. And now you will go down, and with you your family. We will bury your roots in the very same garden you buried the roots of so many. And Rafael, he could hardly breathe. He could hear his heart throbbing, and deafening his ears. He wished years later, he wished that he would have been more courageous. Maybe he could have saved his father. Maybe he could have done something against it. And then he heard shots which penetrated his soul, his conscience. Shots he hears to this very day in this car while he's driving to the American border. These shots, and all was over, in it. His life was in it. How easy it is to just take away the life of someone else, to take the life of someone whom you do not know. Fulgencio Santa Cruz, the unrelated drug baron. No, he was Rafael's father, and he did not deserve this end. People did not know him. People did not know who Fulgencio Santa Cruz really was. And they have never bothered to know. And this tragedy is an indication for it. And what happened next? The people, these foreigners, they rummaged and pillaged through the hacienda, this place of heaven. Rafael played a lot. This was his world. This was his world where everything was in his place, where he only met friendly faces, where there would not be any evil people who would murder others, who would take away the lives of others, who would not spill blood. No, this was a clean, warm atmosphere. And even to this very day, Rafael, and in Rafael's memory, his youth was filled with sunshine, with joy, and with the taste of candy. And then one of the men walked past him. He stood in front of Rafael, and his eyes, his face was filled with hatred, was filled with disgust. It was one of the men. His father talked to Rafael, immediately remembered his face. This was one of the men he once met in his father's office, who looked at him thoughtfully. Rafael back then noticed something is off of this man. He looks indifferent. All others of his father's friends, as he always called them, they would always smile at him. They would always see Rafael with pleasure. They would tap his back or ruffle his hair. But he was different. He was cold. He was indifferent, nonchalant. And there he was again. And now it was like as if Rafael saw his true face, this face which was filled with hatred. Maybe it was his voice who talked to his father before. Rafael had never heard this man's face. At least he could not remember. He stared at Rafael, and for Rafael this was something new, because up to that point he always thought that this world is filled with nice people, that there are no people who has nothing but contempt for him. Rafael always grew up in the notion that no matter what he does, he can't do anything wrong. He was never chided. When everyone or when someone wanted from him something, whether he should act in a way, whether he should not yell or he should not disturb others, then he was always asked in a nice way. He was always comforted. There was always someone there for him who cared for him. And people always saw him with pleasure. But then things had changed. His world had changed dramatically. This was a different world which came from outside. And Rafael remembers the disarray of this home, the pillagers who carried everything they could carry away. This home, this heaven was destroyed by the world outside, and this man's face and his eyes he could vividly remember. The man raised his gun, and even though Rafael had played a lot with guns, but these were only toys, he knew that this was something serious. He still saw the body of Consuela drained in blood on the floor, and he was scared. He was scared, but still he could not move. He was bolted on the ground, and the thought even now makes Rafael sick, that he was this stupid boy who grew up in this world, and he could not help himself. At least he could not just turn around and run away, dash away. No, he stood there. He stood there, struggling with himself, struggling still to fathom what has happened. He could not realize why his world came down, why it all went the way it went. Later, people said Fulgencio Santa Cruz deserved what happened to him. He did not show any mercy to others, and nor did those people show mercy to him and his family. And maybe this was the cause and the reason of the hatred of this man, maybe something similar was being done to him. And this man raised his gun. And the only thing, and the last thing Rafael heard from him was, "You bastard." That's all. And then he pulled the trigger. He hit Rafael a couple of times. Rafael still doesn't know how many, but it was a stinging pain. It was a pain which seemed initially unreal, as if someone had just pinched his skin with his 2 fingers. Something Consuelo occasionally did. He was so much under shock. He was still under shock of all that was happened. He did not really feel the pain at once, but then more and more, it dawned on him that this is real, and he could hardly breathe, hardly came together. He could hardly rearrange his thoughts, understand what has happened. The man thought him dead. A little boy, nothing could happen or come from him. It was, after all, Fulgencio Santa Cruz they were after, and now he's dead. Now they are relieved from him. Rafael lay there, still under shock, in his own blood. The wounds, they were not life-threatening. They had missed. Those 2 shots fired at him. They had missed vital organs. Rafael was still alive. He saw the blood of Consuela spreading on the carpet, on the very carpet he, days before, played, rolled around, drove with a toy car, ran around, laughed. Only a couple of hours ago, right before he went to bed, these rooms, these halls were filled with joy, with laughter. Everything was in his place, his heaven. And now and then everything was changed. Rafael could get somewhere up, could in the end finally get on his feet. This pain was almost unbearable, as if then, later on, he felt it. And he remembered Consuela saying that whenever he needs something, he should go down to the village. Then the village people would love his father, and they would help him. They would help him with everything. Rafael thought of the village. He had no place here anymore. This was not the heaven he lived in, he ran through anymore. This was a ruin. And he feared that this man could come back again, could see him again. He was not afraid of death, no, he was afraid that he would have to face this hateful, chiding and despising face again. This is what he was running away from.